now we got the Neve Campbell controversy. My God, so many controversies. We've talked about this, how she's not going to be in Scream, 6, right? Scream 6. Because, she released a statement saying that she didn't feel like they gave her the value to play Sydney once again. So she definitely is not going to be in it. And then, of course, after that, it just kept on coming out. And, other actors that are part of the franchise were totally like, yeah, I agree. David Arquette said, yeah, I agree. I can understand why and blah, blah, blah. And, even what's her name, who played in the Scream series, which is Emma Roberts, she had this to say. She basically said that someone just sent me the news about Campbell's departure last night, and I was like, this can't be real news. Like, this has to be fake. I mean, she's queen. That's all I have to say. Okay, so that was good. But then we have Mr. Roberts, right? Or not Mr. Roberts, but Mr. Lillard, Matthew Lillard, right here, who basically was on a podcast and talked about this. And
Tom Cruise take.
His take is really not that great. It's not that great, which is interesting. But listen to what he had to say about this. Matthew Lillard, of course, who was in the first Scream, and we all know who he was.
Tom Cruise take less money for Maverick 5?
Fuck no.
Fuck no, dude. No.
Okay, so he's now comparing Neve Campbell to Tom Cruise. That's right. Let's continue.
So why is a woman supposed to take less? Why wouldn't you pay her more as the series goes on? And was Scream 5 a hit or not a hit? It was a smash hit. Did they make a shit ton of money? Yes. Should Neve Campbell be paid for the work she's done in 5 movies as a franchise? Yes. Because she is a female lead of a horror, like one of the most successful horror franchises. In fact, I think it's the most successful horror franchise. Well, I don't know how you categorize that, but
okay.
I'm sure there's some sort of algorithm.
Right? It's successful.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, again, like they're always looking to pinch pennies and
of course.
Pull one over on as many people.
Not when it comes to Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
What?
But
totally, yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. But in the horror world, you could easily say she's Tom Cruise level in the horror world for that franchise, especially.
Is she?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
how
guess.
much money is that movie made, that franchise made over its life?
Yeah.
Forget about it.
All right. So, I like Matthew Lillard. I do a lot. But of course, he's doing that whole thing of like, oh, it's sexist, it's sexist, it's sexist. And I'm just kind of going like, well, first off, does anybody know how big her fucking role is or was supposed to be in Scream 6? Go back to Scream 5. Did she have a huge role in that one? Not that huge of a role. She was like halfway through, she showed up. She didn't have that big of a role. They have new stars, and then when it comes to the whole, like, and I get it, like the whole pay gap, the gender gap, that whole thing when it comes to Hollywood and whatnot, but I'm just kind of going like, all right, but you realize that the baton was handed, like there's no male top billed fucking, character that's in this next movie. I'm guessing because you have Jenna Ortega, you have the girl who played the older sister, who's mainly now the Sydney role now. You have Courtney Cox. Where's the sexism when it comes to this? I don't know. New subscriber, Judy Stewart. Hi, thank you. So I'm just kind of going like, okay, that's interesting. And then Matthew Lillard goes, but they, compares Neve Campbell to Tom Cruise, and nothing against Neve Campbell, but it's Tom Cruise. I'm like, that's just a bad comparison when it comes to that. In my eyes, I'm like, did anybody else feel like that too? It's like, that's just like a bad, Tom Cruise is literally like hanging off of airplanes. He's flying helicopters. He's going to be launching himself into a canyon off of a motorcycle. I'm just kind of going like, what the hell? Okay, so why would, and again, I don't even think Matthew Lillard knows how pivotal her role was supposed to be in this new Scream movie. It's going to be taking place in New York City this time. I'm willing to bet that her role was pretty small And she just didn't see the value of it. I think a lot of people are making a big stink out of this because they like to make a big stink out of this because she's a woman and they want to bring up sexism and blah, blah, blah. And it's funny, too, because, yes, I understand that that's always been a thing when it comes to how you pay these actors, you know, when it comes to the man and the woman and the leads and whatever. But it's just funny because anytime that an actress is paid more than the actor, that's never talked about, never celebrated, never talked about. I always talk about the movie Passengers with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence got like $6 million more than Chris Pratt when she had less screen time. Chris Pratt had to carry the movie for like the first 20 to 30 minutes, but still got paid less. Why? She was the bigger name. Yes, same thing happens too. Apparently, when it came to La La Land, Emma Stone got paid more than Ryan Gosling. Even though Ryan Gosling literally had trained himself how to play piano and all this stuff, she still got the more upfront paycheck. I think they both got back-end stuff. If my research is good, but the fact of the matter is she made more than Ryan Gosling. Never gets talked about. Never gets talked about because you can't just, for some reason, we can't celebrate when it actually happens. And I'm sure there's other movies where it happens too. It's just never mentioned. Anytime that it's mentioned when it's something like this, everybody's got to get outraged because outrage is what gets the clicks. Outrage is what gets the attention. You know, there's never a celebration of when, hey, guess what? You know, so-and-so, the actress got paid more than the actor. Never gets mentioned. So that's what sucks about this whole thing. And now, but I think I'm like, dude, Matthew Lillard, you're comparing her to Tom Cruise. Don't do that. I wouldn't compare, I mean, you couldn't even compare like, you know, actors, you know, male actors to Tom Cruise and payment, stuff like that. But it's all just a little weird, man. It's all just weird, and I just hate that. It's like, why immediately do we do that and do the outrage thing? I just want Neve Campbell to come out and go like, ho, wait a minute, guys. They only had me in the movie like for 10 pages, and I just didn't find it was worth it. That would be pretty awesome if Neve Campbell came out and actually said, oh, wait a minute, because isn't it a little weird that she turned down the role, but production started on time? So I'm willing to bet that she had a pretty damn small role. Now, maybe she's just fed up with it. She's fed up with, you know, acting in scenes where she has to run around like a kitchen with Ghostface and a fucking knife, and she's just tired of it. After 5 movies, maybe she's just tired of it. That could be it. And then maybe down the line, like they did with Halloween, you know, they're going like 10 years, 15 years down the line, we can have, you know, a reboot, a soft reboot of the series, and Sydney will come back, and she'll be all badass like Jamie Lee Curtis was in the Halloween reboot. Maybe that'll happen. But let's relax. There's really no controversy here. There really isn't. But people are making it like that. That's what's so funny. And when they keep on asking like the actors, it's like, geez. But again, Mr. Lillard, let's relax a little bit. Let's relax. Okay.